Hey, what's up, guys? Here in the Fire Sports Pod, where everything we got is hot. I'm your host, Zach Jackson. We don't have our co-host Irvin back on again. He will be back on for Recap Monday next week. We'll be recapping the Super Bowl and all those fun stuff. But for tonight, we got only 3 segments for you all today. We're going to be going over the NBA trade deadline from top to bottom, and then we're going to be going into my Super Bowl final picks, score prediction, everything. I know we did that with my past podcast with my professor, but we're going to go over all that because it's the talk of the sports world right now. It's the biggest game of the year come this Sunday at 6:30 in New Orleans. So we'll see. We'll be talking about that. In our third and final segment, we'll be going over the NFL awards from last night. Some controversy that happened last night. So we'll be going over that and what I really thought of it from the get-go. So let's get what. What's up, Nico? How you doing, brother? We are also on TikTok Live for everyone that's out there. So say what's up to the TikTok. Don't forget to drop a follow on that TikTok as well as like and share. So let's get right into it. So first up, I'm going to share my screen here for the people that are going to be watching my show later on YouTube. And we're going to be going top to bottom and my thoughts and grades on each NBA trade that went down this deadline. Because, man, we had a bunch of great trades in the trade deadline. Probably the best NBA trade deadline we've had over the past, 2 decades. It's been a while since we had this type of a trade deadline. So we're going to start off with a move where we had the Utah Jazz, PJ Tucker, Mo Bamba, second round pick, required Drew Eubanks and Patty Mills. So Utah gave away Drew Eubanks and Patty Mills to the Clippers for PJ Tucker, Mo Bamba, second round pick, and cash considerations. Again, LA Clippers, they're trying to get younger. They're trying to get some veterans off the bench. They're trying to get a better bench to help out Kawhi and James Harden. I'll give this probably a C-plus trade. Patty Mills was playing barely any minutes on Utah. He's been very inconsistent shooting the ball when he was in. So hopefully maybe he can revamp his career in LA, get some minutes going. But yeah, that's pretty much that. Somebody said something in the chat. Nico, good. Hope the Yankees get that bag this year because they could have got it in 2024. I agree, man. I hope so, too. This year they have the players to do it, and now since Soto left, yeah, not wrong. Can't wait to see what the Yankees got in store. And then we had the biggest trade of them all, probably the most shocking trade where the Lakers acquired Luka Doncic, Maxi Kleber, and Markieff Morris. And it was probably one of the shocks of the history of the NBA, probably one of the biggest shocks in the history of the NBA with this trade where we sent Anthony Davis and Max Christie and a 2029 first-round pick to Dallas. On top of that, we sent Jalen Hood-Schifino to Utah with a 2025 second-round pick via the Clippers and a 2025 second-round pick via the Mavs. Yeah, dude, it was a absolutely positively one of the most shocks. I mean, I woke up out of nowhere from a good night's sleep, and I was like, nah, there's no way this is real. There's no way this is real. It's fake. It's fake. It's fake. And to be honest, it's not fake. It was actually true. And I don't know. I still, to this day, guys, I don't know how I like the trade. I want to see how Luka plays with LeBron. But the narrative that Luka and LeBron can't play together, to me, is absolutely horrendous. I think it's stupid. I think both of those players can play greatly together. And I think it's going to be a match made in Valhalla, basically, because I think both players, getting this move added at least another 2 years for LeBron's career. He looks more vamped than everything. He just came off a 42-point performance last night against the Warriors. We're 30-19. We're rolling. I think the Lakers are really doing well. But we'll see what happens. I think Anthony Davis is going to do well in the Mavericks. I think both teams lost a big, viable piece. But I think at least the Lakers did, getting Mark Williams from Charlotte, a younger big. Obviously not the same, not even close to Anthony Davis, but at least they got somebody young. Guys averaging about 16 and 10 a game. I think that was vital for us to get. And the fact that he is on the Lakers roster after the trade deadline helps out big time. But overall, I would probably give this trade a B+. I think both teams lost. The Lakers lost defense with Anthony Davis and Max Christie, and I think the Mavericks lost offense with Luka, Maxi Kleber, and Markieff Morris. I think when you lose a monster offensive talent, a guy that's 25 years old, was the face of your franchise, I would definitely say it's probably going to be a B plus for both teams. That's where I'm at right now. If you guys think otherwise, let me know in the comment section here on TikTok Live or on YouTube what you guys thought of the Lakers trade with the Mavs for Anthony Davis and Luka. And then another big trade where we had De'Aaron Fox and Jordan McLaughlin go to the San Antonio Spurs as Sacramento gets Zach LaVine, Sidney Sissoko, a 2025 protected first-round pick via the Hornets, a 2027 first-round pick via the Spurs, a 2031 first-round pick via the Timberwolves, a 2025 second-round pick via the Bulls, a 2028 second-round pick via the Nuggets, and a 2028 second-round pick via the Kings pick traded back. So the Sacramento got not only a perennial all-star in Zach LaVine, but also got younger with all these picks. Potentially could be monster picks down the road. We'll see. Chicago, they basically get plug-in players. Zach Collins, Trey Jones, Kevin Huerter, 2025 first-round pick. I would definitely say in San Antonio definitely won this trade with getting De'Aaron Fox with Victor and Chris Paul. Castle, I think, absolutely goes wonders for the Spurs. But I think Sacramento was right behind them. Close second in this win with the trade because of the fact that they got younger with all these picks and they got a perennial all-star in Zach LaVine. Chicago definitely got the worst of it, losing Zach LaVine, didn't get really anybody back. I mean, Kevin Huerter is the best out of the three. They did get a first-round pick, which is vital, but we'll see what happens. For this trade, I would give for the Spurs, I would give an A+. For the Sacramento, I would give an A. And for Chicago, I'll give a C. I don't think it was the best. But overall, I give this trade an A+ because it was just so crazy. There was three teams involved. I give it about an A+. That's where I'm looking at. Zack says in the comments, A for the Lakers, C for the Mavs. Oh, that's a new one, man. I'm gonna have to kindly disagree. I actually think that it was I think it was more of just an even thing, but you could go back and forth about it. We'll see what happens. It really just depends on how well they play. Now we go to the next trade where we have Dallas acquiring Caleb Martin from the 76ers and a 2020 second round pick. A 2030 second round pick. Philly gets Quentin Grimes and a 2025 second round pick from the 76ers pick traded back. This trade was a bit of a difference maker. I mean, Philadelphia was basically playing that night, and they traded Caleb Martin. I feel bad for Caleb Martin. He's been moving all over the place. Hasn't been able to ball. I hope he's able to ball in Dallas and just stay and be able to contribute because the kid can play. I like what he did with Miami. He was a big, solid player for their run in the finals and to the finals with Miami that year. So I think Caleb Martin can play. I think this is a good move for Dallas. A guy can play some defense, can score the basketball, and I think this is a good move. And then they get a 2030 second round picks out of it. I give this overall probably a B for a trade, maybe a C+ right there. It's not a big trade. It's not something huge, but still something that could help out both teams. Quentin Grimes not bad too. Now the next trade, which was a bit of a shocker. I didn't think Milwaukee was going to go this route. But they said, fuck you to Chris Middleton, and they put him back to the Wizards, where his career is just going to go into a dumpster fire. And it's already is. He's been hurt, injured. So I think Chris Middleton, you're not going to hear a lot about Chris Middleton over the next couple of years. But this was a 4-team trade where Milwaukee gets Kyle Kuzma, Jericho Simmons, 2025 second round pick, draft rights to the Matthias Lossard. So this was a big one. I think Milwaukee big time adds a big time. I mean, Kyle Kuzma, you might say he's not a big time player, obviously, but he did really well with the Lakers and really helped them with their championship run in the bubble. I think Kyle Kuzma is going to fit perfectly in Milwaukee. I like this move. I think this was the right move. Get a younger guy at that Chris Middleton spot. Obviously, not as much of a consistent shooter as Chris Middleton was, but Chris Middleton has been on the floor consistently, so you'll take more of the availability over really anything else. You want him to be able to be on the court. So they shipped Chris Middleton Washington along with A.J. Johnson and a 2028 pick swap. and $1 million from the Bucks. And just to take a quick break, guys, if you guys are new to the live, don't forget to drop a follow as well as like and share the live. I appreciate all the support out there. Now let's get back into it. The New York Knicks get Delon Wright draft rights to Hugo Benson, $2 million from the Bucks, and San Antonio gets Patrick Baldwin Jr., 4.13 from the Bucks. So this was a overall, obviously Milwaukee won this trade by a mile. I would take Milwaukee gets an A for this trade. Washington would probably get a B. Good night, Nico. Catch you later. New York for me. I think this is just adding people. I'd probably go with a C and a C for San Antonio. But yeah, Milwaukee definitely gets an A for this. This was a big move, and I think they did their due diligence in this one. Now Houston getting Jaden Springer, a 2030 second round pick, and Boston gets a future second round pick. A little mini trade. Probably go with an C plus for this one. C. Oklahoma City gets Daniel Tice and a 2031 second round pick. New Orleans gets nothing really. NA, according to CBS. So I'm not even going to comment on that trade. Sacramento gets Jonas Valanciunas. This was a big move. This adds a lot more help. You get Jonas Valanciunas, then you got Domantas Sabonis. You got a really good five in Sacramento. So it's gonna be something to see. We'll see what happens there. Obviously, they lost Fox, but you have Levine, DeRozan, Sabonis, and Valanciunas, and now you just need a one, which you could plug in Malik Monk as the one, and you got a solid five there in Sacramento. I'd love to see how they roll. Washington gets Sidney Soskosko, a 28 second round pick, and a 2029 second round pick. I think Sacramento definitely won this trade by a mile. I would get Sacramento with an A plus. I think this really helps their team. Washington, as always, they're going to get like a D or a C plus or a C. Next trade that was a bit of a shock, which a lot of people didn't realize. I even thought, I'm going to go out on a limb here. I was definitely wrong. I did not see Jimmy Butler going to Golden State, but he ended up going to Golden State. I thought he was going to go with Phoenix. I think that was a done deal. I thought Phoenix was going to give up Kevin Durant back to the Warriors, but it was really Kevin Durant not wanting to go back to the Warriors. Something about that relationship still not patched up, so he didn't want to move, so he's staying home. But Jimmy Butler is heading to Golden State to join Steph Curry and Draymond to join that trio. Miami gets Andrew Wiggins, Davion Mitchell, and Kyle Anderson, and a 2025 Warriors first-round pick, top 10 protected. So Miami gets a top 10 pick in 2025, first-rounder. Kyle Anderson, Davion Mitchell, and Andrew Wiggins. That's not a bad trade. Miami definitely did well. Detroit gets Dennis Schroeder, Lindy Waters III, and a 2031 second-round pick via the Warriors. Detroit just adds another backup point guard, which would be helpful, which is Dennis Schroeder, a guy that's got some good skills on the back end. Utah gets KJ Martin, Josh Richardson, a 2028 second-round pick via the 76ers, and a 2031 second-round pick via the Heat. Toronto gets PJ Tucker, older veteran, get your guys going, can knock down threes in the corner. 2026 second-round pick via the Heat and cash considerations. Obviously, Toronto did not win this trade. They probably got a C for their efforts. I think Utah gets a C+. I would probably go with Detroit getting a B. And I think Miami gets a B plus A, and I think Golden State probably gets an A plus, or A minus. We'll see how the Jimmy Butler trade works. I think he's a great talent. I think he's a great defender, and I think he's a great energizer for that squad in the Golden State, which they need. But we'll just see if he continues with his bullshit. I hope not, because I think Jimmy Butler can do wonders and do well in Golden State with Steph Curry. It's going to be funny to see them three play together. So everything overall, this trade was an A plus, but as you can see, I gave the grades per team. And then we moved to Toronto, getting Brandon Ingram. This was a shocker. Did not expect this to happen. Brandon Ingram goes to Toronto. New Orleans gets Bruce Brown and Kelly Olynyk and a 2026 first-round pick via the Pacers and a second-round pick. Did not see this one coming. I think New Orleans really kind of fucked up. I would have probably definitely kept Brandon Ingram. But again, they wanted to try something new, try to get some new talent in New Orleans. Bruce Brown's a good, viable, off-the-bench type defender. And Kelly Olynyk is a little bit of a reliable guy coming out of there. So I would definitely say New Orleans definitely screwed up. I think Toronto, dude, they got a squad there, man. They got Scotty Barnes. They got Emmanuel Quickly. They now got Ingram. I mean, that's just to name a few. I think this is a massive trade for Toronto. I think this trade goes wonders. I think Toronto's going to be good for the next couple years, man. Just watch out for them next year, man. This year probably not, but next year they're going to be good if they could play together and get some chemistry now this year coming into next year. I think it's going to be good. And I agree with Aiden. Aiden sending Ingram is good for the Raptors, definitely, dude. I think Toronto gets an A+ for this one. New Orleans gets a C, dude. They really fucked up on this one. Excuse my French, but they really did. The next one is the Lakers. Last night, 2 nights ago, getting Mark Williams. I think this was massive, massive. Mark Williams to the Lakers. I didn't like giving up Dalton Connect. And Cam Reddish didn't care about. He was always hurt. He kept getting hurt. 2031 first-round pick and a 2020 pick swap. I think Charlotte got younger. Dalton Connect's going to be a star, man. You add him with LaMelo Ball, Brandon Miller. I think it's going to be wonders for Charlotte. You get youth. You get some shooting. I think is really going to do well for Charlotte. They stay young. I think the Lakers getting Mark Williams was massive, a big-time threat as a big shot blocker. Guys getting averaging a double-double, 16 and 10 a game so far. I think this is going to do wonders for the Lakers. Like I said earlier, I think this is a great trade. I think the Lakers definitely won this trade. I get them an A+. I think I give Charlotte is probably a B. And Aiden just said it on the live. Actually, to be honest, Dalton Connect is older than Mark Williams, so you even get younger than you had before. The only reason why I didn't know that, but I could have figured that because Dalton Connect was in college for a while. So it kind of made sense when you said that, Aiden. But no, I did not know that. That's funny, even you say that. So I think Charlotte gets a B. I think Lakers get an A+ for this move, especially with the loss of Anthony Davis. This is big. And then Washington acquired Reggie Jackson, 2026 first-round pick. Philly gets a 2027 second and 2028 second and two 2030 second-rounders. That's an all right trade. Phoenix gets Cody Martin and Vasilevs Mitrovic, and Charlotte gets Yusuf Nurkic. This was a trade that it was not expecting, but Phoenix said, screw Yusuf Nurkic, and he's heading to Charlotte. Charlotte's looking good, man. They got some young, they got some older guys. It's gonna be cool to see them next year. We'll see how they do in the second half of the season. But they don't look that bad. This one was a shocker. I don't know what you think, Aiden. This one to me was a big shocker as DeAndre Hunter goes to Cleveland for Karis LeVert and Georges Niang for 2026 first-round pick swap, 2028 first-round pick swap, and 3 second-round picks. I think this was a steal. You upgraded mightily with Karis LeVert with DeAndre Hunter. And I think DeAndre Hunter has a chance of getting the 6th Man of the Year award this year. On top of that, he could play the starting lineup. Cleveland could have a potential one of the best starting fives in the game. You got Garland, Mitchell, Hunter, Mobley, and Allen. That's a massive 5, bro. And they're already the best team in the entire NBA record-wise, or tied for the best. Yeah, Hawks suck. Hawks are horrible. They're really just getting worse and worse and worse as the years go by. Trae Young needs to get the hell out of there. He's just gonna absolutely do nothing there. I feel bad for him. Yeah, I agree. If I'm Trae Young, I request a trade. No doubt about that. And then Atlanta also loses Bogdan Bogdanovic. They send him to the Clippers to get Terrence Bones Highland. I like that move. Two players that are young can score the basketball. I think that's a good move. I think you get 2 young players that can kind of do the same thing as Bogdan, but maybe a little bit better of ball handling the basketball and help out maybe Trae Young, but still just not a good one. I'd pray for the Cleveland trade. I'll go an A+. Atlanta, C. LA Clippers, Atlanta trade. I'll go LA definitely gave great. They gave James Harden another shooter with Kawhi Leonard. I think that's a good trade. I'll give them a B+. I give Atlanta probably a B, C+ for that one. And then we're cutting down on the last 3 trades we had here. Houston gets Cody Zeller. That one was nothing. This one was a bit of I didn't like this one. I didn't think Memphis should have left Marcus Smart like that. They shipped him off to Washington with Kobe Jones, Alex Len, and 2025 first-round pick. And then Memphis gets Marvin Bagley III and Johnny Davis. And Sacramento gets Jake LaRiva I think Memphis really screwed that one up. I would have kept Marcus Smart. His effort, his intensity, his defensive prowess, and his leadership is golden. I think you keep that. You don't let that go. But that was their decision. I give Washington a B. I give Memphis a B. Sacramento, they got nobody. So on that one. So, but yeah, Washington is really where your careers go to end. That's why they're dumpster fire. LA Clippers get Marjon Bishop, and Milwaukee get Kevin Porter Jr. I think Milwaukee got a steal here. I think Kevin Porter Jr. is great. I just think him beating up his girlfriend was really the end of him in Houston, and I really think that screwed him up. But to be honest, I think Kevin Porter Jr. is going to play great with Milwaukee coming off the bench. I think that's going to be a great talent to have in Milwaukee. I think that's a great move. I like that move. And then Toronto gets James Wiseman. I know he's coming off the Achilles injury, but man, you look at Toronto, dude. Toronto could be a powerhouse next year, man. Watch out. They got some youth. They got some veterans. They got some guys that can really play basketball there in Toronto. Watch out for Toronto, ladies and gentlemen. Next year, mark my words, Toronto's going to be pretty good next year. I would be very surprised if they're not. Let's just say the least. I like the way the direction that they're headed. So basically, we're done with the NBA trade deadline. It was probably one of the best NBA trade deadlines we've had in the last 25 years plus. Now we're going to be going over to a short segment about the NFL. We got the picks going up, and that's for this weekend's Super Bowl, man. Ladies and gentlemen, it's here. Super Bowl Sunday is here between Kansas City and Philly. I'm taking Kansas City. I got Kansas City winning. I got them winning 27-24. That's just for me. I think whoever won that game between Buffalo and Kansas City was going to win the Super Bowl. So I'm taking Kansas City all day. I'm a Cowboys fan. I can't go for the Eagles. The early line is Kansas City -1.5. Early total is 48.5. If that stays true, which it probably won't, I'm going to take Kansas City covering the -1.5. I think they win by 3. I think it's going to be I'd say if it's 27-24, that's going to be 24 plus 24, that's 48. So I'm going to go with the slight over of 48.5. Expected attendance is 83,000. Obviously New Orleans Superdome, 6:30 on Fox. But I'm taking Kansas City with the win, man. I think I'm taking Kansas City with the win. But I would probably go with the over. If you guys are betting on some players, I'd probably go with the over of like 62.5 receiving yards for Travis Kelce. I think he's going to have a game, one of those crazy games that he usually has in these type of moments. I'm going to have Mahomes go in the over of passing yards. I'm going to have Saquon go over the 100-yard game. I think he has over 100 yards. I think Saquon, Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, A.J. Brown, and Jalen Hurts all get touchdowns. I'm just gonna put it at that. But yeah, that's pretty much it, dude. That's all I got. We've already discussed a lot about the Super Bowl over the last two podcasts, so I'm gonna go with Kansas City to get the dub over the Eagles for Super Bowl 59, coming to you at 6:30 Eastern time this coming Sunday. So that's where I'm going at. And then last but not least, guys, we're going to be going over the NFL honors and my reactions to these awards. There's some controversy happening all over here with Josh Allen getting MVP, but Lamar Jackson getting the number one spot. So I don't know. I personally would have probably gave it to Lamar Jackson. I think Lamar got robbed definitely of the MVP. I think I think both deserved it. If you were going to do it the way they were going to do it, I think they should have just did a co-MVP of Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. I think both of them deserved it. They both played fantastic years. But if it wasn't for Joe Burrow having such a shitty team this year, I think Joe Burrow could have won it too. So I think there was a lot of criticism. I think they should have just did two co-MVPs and Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, and I think you would have called it a day. But yeah, I think Josh Allen, the quarterback for the Bills, definitely robbed Lamar Jackson. I just didn't like the way they kind of put it. So I would probably say that one's a bit of a touchy one. Coach of the year, Kevin O'Connell. I don't mind that. I think that's a great spot. I could have picked him to win the coach of the year because he took the Vikings for a team that was not projected to do anything with Sam Darnold to one of the best records in the NFL. And the only two teams he lost to all season were the Rams and the Lions. So I could give you that one. AP Comeback Player of the Year. I probably would have picked Sam Darnold because I think he played fantastic. But the way Joe Burrow was playing with such a shitty ass team, there was no way you could put him anybody else. But I probably would have picked Sam Darnold. Guy shocked the world. Guy played great. I think that probably would have been the comeback player of the year. But I'm not mad with Joe Burrow, man. He played a great year. AP Offensive Player of the Year, Saquon. I don't think you can really have a problem with that one. Saquon played out of his fucking mind. I think Saquon, if he would have broke the record, I think he would have been in this discussion a little bit more, even though he already was. I think if he would have broke the record and continued to break it, I think we would have had a different discussion. But I'm not mad at that one. I agree with that one. AP Defensive Player of the Year award, Patrick Surtain. I don't know. I'd probably go with the guy had the most sacks this year. I think had a better year. But Surtain was playing fantastic. He gave up like a 54 QBR rating when thrown to by quarterbacks. You can't really argue with that. Offensive Player of the Year award, Rookie of the Year award, Jaden Daniels. There's no doubt about it. I told you guys from the start, Jaden Daniels was going to be a gem of a player. He was going to be the best in his draft class. Did not think he was going to get to the NFC Championship this year, but God damn it, I knew that he was at least going to make the playoffs. And I told you guys from the summer that he was going to be this type of guy, and you guys all freaking gave me problems for it. And now look at him. He won the AP Rookie of the Year award. So now AP Defensive Rookie of the Year. This guy Jared Vreese for the Rams pass rusher. He was a monster. Man was a beast. You got no problems with this one here. I like this one all day. Next Gen Stat Moments of Year powered by AWS. Commanders quarterback Jaden Daniels game-winning Hail Mary throw versus the Bears. Yeah, that was pretty crazy. But the only reason why that happens because that one Bears cornerback just decided to say, "Hey, the game's over, and the game's not over." Walter Payton Man of the Year award presented by Nationwide. Eric Armstead, Jaguars defensive lineman, well respected. Everybody there who's the Man of the Year award, anybody presents in the Man of the Year award always has my respect. That shit's awesome. And then the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2025, Eli Manning missed the cut, but we had Eric Allen, Jared Allen, Antonio Gates, Sterling Sharp Sr., a brother of Shannon Sharp. Cool story behind that. Both are awesome. That's great to have. I wish I probably Eli Manning. A lot of people probably were pissed about not having Eli Manning get in there, but to be honest, the only reason why he's even in that discussion is because he beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl twice. If that didn't happen, he was nowhere going to be found in that. FedEx Air and Ground Players of the Year. Obviously, Josh Allen, Bills quarterback, and Jamar Chase, Bengals wide receiver. He had a massive year this year. Triple Crown winner. Man's a beast. Salute to Service Award goes to George Kittle. As always, man's always on his patriotism. Great dude. NFL Latino Youth Honors presented by Sophie Gertrude and Mariano Tomendes. Art Rooney Sportsmanship Award goes to Josh Allen. Deacon Jones Sack Leader Award goes to Trey Hendersig, defensive end for the Bengals. Guy was a beast. The only really good part of that defense for the Bengals. AP Assistant Coach of the Year, Ben Johnson, the former Lions offensive coordinator. Man was throwing tricks out of the blue, man. This guy was a beast this year. His play calling's off the chains, and hopefully he can change some things in Chicago. Fan of the Year award presented by Captain Morgan, Megan Stefanski, Lions. NFL Flag Players of the Year award, Daniel Barry and Josie Clayton. And Jim Brown award goes to Saquon Barkley, Eagles running back. So he got the Jim Brown award, well deserved. Don Shula High School Coach of the Year, John Hart, Prospect High School, Bill Jacqueline Singer High School. So yeah, that's pretty much it for all the NFL honor awards that happened yesterday. Some big time names, some big time moments. But it all boils down to the game of the year, guys. The final game between the Eagles and the Chiefs. Eagles are 14-3. Chiefs are 15-2. New Orleans Stadium, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Fox. Enjoy, guys. Let's go, Chiefs. Chiefs, Chiefs, Chiefs. All day, every day. But other than that, guys, that's pretty much it for the show here on the Fire Sports Pod, where everything we got is hot. I'll continue to be on TikTok for a little bit. But for everybody on the YouTube show, peace out. Hope you guys have a great rest of your Saturday night, and I'll see you guys on Recap Monday. We're going to have a lot to talk about on that show after the Super Bowl, so I'll catch you guys then. Peace out and enjoy your Sunday. And if you're in New Jersey or in the tri-state where you see all the snow, be safe out there, all right? I'll catch you guys later. Peace.